Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
The greatest conversations are easy to conceive.
That's becoming a thing of yours, is that you're like you're the Biofriendly Podcast serenader.
I am.
You have songs at the ready.
Just look that. I'm sitting on my hips.
Yes.
On my hips, ready to pull them out and shoot.
Oh yeah, they sit on your hips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Songs at the hip. Hey, am I appropriate? I sometimes,
No, you're doing good.
The issues I have with microphones.
The biggest question is the microphone covering your face?
No.
Okay, good.
We can see my face on the face.
Oh, you know what's funny though is last episode, we adjusted your camera and actually I could see more of the window behind you and could see the reflection. Did you change that a little bit?
I did. I'm not now.
Okay.
I am just. It's a block of wall.
Right.
With a moose.
By the way, I know the moose.
And
here's the thing. I think when we change studios,
and a picture we turned backwards because it's probably of like
family, right? So we got to keep it private. But what I was going to say is, if we get a studio, next location we have, you have to have a picture of a moose with you.
Yeah.
I can't ever let that go.
No.
I've just gotten to know the Biofriendly Podcast is Noel has a moose with him. At all times.
As we know, I ride a moose.
Yeah, you do. You ride it to work. It's very.
And it's not like
it's a low carbon footprint.
It is a very low carbon footprint, and it's not like one of those relationships like master. No. My moose is a friend.
Yes.
And if the moose doesn't want to take me to work that day, well, then I don't go, right?
That's right.
So it's a mutual relationship. Sometimes I take the moose around.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's the best kind of moose to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be friends with the environment.
Got to be friends with the environment. Well, I was gonna say we keep a moose with you, and then at some point in time we need to. Oh, there's the Red Dad mug. I love it. We need to have some biofriendly signage behind us, I think. And we need to have some biofriendly podcast logos. Like I've already got all these ideas on what new studio space, make it look like you're hanging out with us in a lounge or something like that.
It's got to be a green lounge.
Green lounge.
It's got to be there's got to be a lot of
Mm-hmm.
environmentally conscious stuff in our lounge.
Alive? Environmentally conscious?
Definitely conscious.
How did I get here?
It's
it's Toy Story.
It's environmental. And I realize now. Yeah,
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I've considered.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to increase the consciousness.
That's true.
In the universe.
Yeah.
When it comes to the environment.
That's true.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's our shtick.
That's our shtick, and we're sticking to it.
And we're sticking to our shtick. We're sticking to our shtick.
We're sticking to it.
And we're not going to do anything else.
I love it.
Right.
I think. Well, first, welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome to you as well.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, and the audience, I guess. We should welcome them.
Yes, as well. I am Jacob.
And I am Noel.
I figured this time I'd drop your co-host. I've been saying co-host, but they get it.
Yeah. Well, then if you're not going to be their co-host, then I'm your co-host.
Whatever I do, you can do better, as the song goes.
Yeah, or if you don't do it, then I'm going to take advantage of it.
Okay, that sounds fair.
That's how I do it.
So, welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
You know who your co-hosts are.
Yes,
people.
You know who we are. I'm Jacob and Noel, and
He's
you're
Jacob and Noel.
I'm Jacob and Noel,
and I'm Sam.
and please welcome Sam. Yeah. All of these are just creations in my head.
Yeah,
it's just the one person is in this room.
The trippiest thing about this is I'm not even here.
No.
It's this is all a figment of your Buddhist powers of recreation are so strong that you've actually made me in your mind. I'm not a thing.
And that is what we encourage you listeners to do, is to achieve this level of consciousness. We just talked about this.
Total consciousness. So you can just
total consciousness.
And then you can just make yourself
That's nice.
A person who can just stand across and you talk about the environment.
Such a great character. That is Caddyshack, Bill Murray, in case you young whippersnappers don't know.
And if you don't know, check it out.
It's a good one.
And don't tell your parents that you don't know.
Yeah.
Because that will be the first beating.
And then impress them that you know Caddyshack.
Yes.
Really blow their minds.
Yeah.
Start quoting Bill Murray from
Do
Caddyshack.
the Dalai Lama quote to your parents, and
Lama.
your parents will be like, "Oh my God, my kid's awesome."
Hey Lama, how about a little bit of something, for the effort? Well, today's subject I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Are ya?
Yeah, because Noel has no idea what it is.
I never do.
Never do. Yeah, rarely. I would say 99% of the time you have no idea what we're about to do.
I like to think I'm the most underinformed host of any podcast.
Well, that's just like every other podcast, right? Like, I mean, geez, I don't think a lot of people out there are informed about anything.
Why would they be?
Well, here's the thing. I think that's the model of the show, right? Is like I bring the information, and you're like
I'm like the audience.
You're John Q. Public. You're like, hey,
I'm sitting here.
Yeah, like what's gonna happen next?
I'm a blank canvas. I'm an open chalkboard.
We're gonna talk about football, but not American football.
Real football?
Soccer.
Real football.
Yes.
Association football.
Yes.
Oh,
aren't you so excited?
too great.
It's so great.
Bloody right. Let's do it, mate.
Let's do some football. So,
football.
Noel, for those that don't know, Noel loves soccer, football.
I do.
Love it. Played it?
I played it since I was 4 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it, and I played with a lot of really, really cool players.
Yes.
Really great players.
Yes.
And I was not one of the great. I was really good.
In your prime.
Really good. No,
In your prime.
I was good enough to play on
2 weeks ago.
on the youth teams with people who went on to better things. That's how good I was.
They were youthful, but Noel was 35.
When I was a full-grown man,
I played with 12-year-olds.
I was a cut below some
Yeah.
MLS people and a couple World Cup people. I
Yeah.
wasn't good enough to get to that level, but I was good enough to play with them as a
But
kid.
you love the game, and that was the thing that I was excited when I saw this subject. I was very excited because I was like, well, I know Noel's going to be excited about this.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to start. By the way, you still have your sunglasses on your shirt, which is great, which means like at any point in time, if you really feel like it, you could just rock those. What's that show that has that famous
CSI Miami?
CSI Miami.
Yeah.
I think we need one of those right now.
You know, this environment isn't going to save itself.
I'm putting it in there. So before we get into it, there he goes with this music.
My impression
Uh-huh.
of
It's a Who song.
what's his face? No, of
David
is it
Carradine.
David Carradine.
David
no,
Carradine.
not Carradine. David Carradine was the
Keith
guy.
Carradine.
No, those are both. No, dang it. No, David Carradine used to do karate when he would save the world.
Okay.
And Keith
Then
Carradine
who am I
is the
thinking?
president of the United States in Madam Secretary and
Okay.
his son.
Okay,
You're
so-
thinking of David Caruso?
Caruso. Yes, I am.
Yes, that's what I'm
Sorry.
trying to do.
Carradine, Caruso.
Red hair.
One man's Carradine is another man's Caruso. Sorry. This is a moment where Clayton would be like,
Clayton
no, Jacob, come on.
Clayton wanted to kill us for a
wanted to
second.
kill us for a
He was
second,
sitting
but
there,
you
he's like, why
knew-
do you guys not know anything?
I
That's
know.
what he says. He's
I
like,
know.
how could you guys honestly do
Look,
a podcast when you know nothing?
I know Caddyshack, but CSI, I've never watched one single episode of that
I
show.
was addicted to it in my early 20s.
Okay.
Tali and I would watch the CSI Miami, and for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it totally struck a chord. I
Yeah.
think because there was a girl who was in it. Maybe she's I think
Like an actress friend?
An actress. No.
Oh.
She was on West Wing for a while,
Nice.
and I just had the biggest crush on that chick.
Yeah. Awesome.
That lady, I shouldn't say chick. It's
That
not
lady, that
appropriate.
beautiful actress, talented.
She was so pretty,
Yeah.
and so good at what she does, and
yeah.
there were so many reasons.
you
for
became
liking
a fan of the
her.
show.
I think this woman is just amazing. Even when I was with my fiance at the time, who now is my wife, and she knew, she was like, "Well,
I get it.
he just likes this girl a lot."
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I still do.
Still do.
Yeah, I don't know her name. I didn't
Yeah.
bother to look things up. Like, who is this?
Typical man.
Yeah.
Well, so I wanted to bring up. No, it's okay. You can.
We'll bring these back.
We'll bring these back at some point in time.
Later.
So before we kick off this subject, the first article I read was like, oh, this is a bummer, but then it gets up. So like we're gonna start on like the.
We don't like to get our audience thinking badly.
I know,
things.
but like that's the thing about the show is we're here to there's a lot of bad news, and there's plenty of bad news, and there's a lot of podcasts that are going to deliver the bad news, the harsh truths. And we're here to deliver that too, but we're also here to inspire, right?
Yes, to let you know that something
that we're working
something can
towards
be done about it.
Something can be done, exactly. Because I don't want people to think that the Biofriendly podcast never like tackles the hard hitting issues, because we do.
We absolutely. Who said that?
Word on the street.
Who told what? What did you put?
Word on the street. Maybe, but I'm here to remind them.
It's about time that we find out who it is and fix it.
Okay, so the article I saw on E&E News, which is Energy and Environment, it's a good site, things are changing for soccer as the planet warms.
Yes.
So the record heat wave sweeping through Europe sent daytime temperatures above 100 degrees Fahrenheit last week in France.
Wow.
As soccer players squared off in the quarterfinals for the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
And 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37, 38 degrees Celsius, I believe. So
Right.
pretty hot.
Which, if you haven't been watching the Women's World Cup,
They're doing...
and actually we're supposed to just call it, in the U.S., we just call it the World Cup.
Right.
There's a women's division.
Right.
And there's a men's division.
Right.
Like in tennis, you have,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And there's a women's division and there's a men's division.
Yeah.
So this is the World Cup.
The World Cup.
We're just watching the women's division of the
the
World
women's division of the FIFA World Cup.
Cup. They got to change it.
And the United States is
In the final.
yeah, they're doing awesome.
Unreal.
I watched two of the games now.
To be fair, at the time of recording, it'll be decided. It'll be over when you hear
okay.
this. So we
Okay.
are recording this a little early, just because we have some days.
I'm gonna be out of the office.
You're gonna be out of the
I'm gonna be
office.
traveling again, but this time for Biofriendly.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
We're
Not-
just trying
not
to-
personal vacation.
Trying to prepare everybody for why there may be some data about the
That's
World
true.
Cup that we don't have yet, just because we had to record this particular one early.
Yeah.
Because of the out-of-townedness of
Out-of-townness.
Jacob, who's going to Brazil.
So Rapinoe of the U.S. team, awesome player,
So good. At
dominating out there.
so good.
I've seen so many
She is
articles about her. She's great.
So good
She's awesome.
at football.
I love her. So the temperatures are very hot. So global temperatures have inched up.
Yeah.
NASA and NOAA said in a report that 2018 was the fourth hottest year on record since 1880.
Yeah.
The three other hottest years were 2015, 2016, 2017. So it's just been
So it was a long time ago.
yeah,
I
no.
mean,
So
we've
we're
not-
just on an upward climb of heat.
Right.
So, by the way, it says NASA, and then I said and NOAA, and I think it's funny because like we say NASA, I don't say NASA, and then I say NOAA, but nobody says NOAA.
We should.
We should. So
NOAA.
NASA and NOAA
And
said sounds like I'm like from Boston. NOAA.
NASA.
Yeah, NASA, NOAA. But anyway, so a recent study said that estimated 60% of the world will experience temperature records every year if greenhouse gases don't decline.
Right.
We know that.
We know that.
So this is getting to be a challenge for soccer, football. For its part, FIFA introduced water breaks during the World Cup games for the first time at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Following a court order.
Yeah.
So when I read that, I was like, following a court order, it's like, okay, we'll give you water breaks after a court order.
Yeah.
So it's not like FIFA, it sounded like
No.
in 2014, they were really willing to. There's some good things said about FIFA in here too,
FIFA.
just so you know.
FIFA needs their comeuppance.
Yes. So,
FIFA. No, I love football.
yeah.
I love it with all my heart.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's football or soccer, as you Yankees call it.
Yeah.
I'm not a.
Yeah.
I'm not American.
Sorry.
I don't know. I just call it. I call it soccer. You know.
But FIFA.
Doom diddly.
FIFA has been arguably the most corrupt. I don't think it's even arguable. FIFA is the most
Is the most-
corrupt
Yeah,
sporting organization on the face of the earth, and
Right.
had been for a very long time,
Right.
until your United States Central Intelligence Agency
said,
got very upset.
and they were like, we got to fix this.
The U.S. in general got very upset. Can I tell a little
Yeah,
backstory?
tell it. I mean, the audience, you want it? Yeah, they said yes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
They said they want to hear it.
So the World Cup is just happened. The men's division in Russia,
Right.
right? And then the next one will be in Qatar. Now, Qatar and Russia, two wonderful places. Russia getting a World Cup is probably a long time coming. I'm sure it would have happened at some point anyway. There were at the time rumors that they had bribed their way into getting that bid
Yeesh.
over other European countries
Right.
that may have also been deserving.
Okay.
And then Qatar, again, great people, great place. I mean, I have nothing against Qatar, but
yeah, it comes up in here too.
Yeah. Qatar is not a place you can host a World Cup. They don't have the stadiums. They don't have anything in place to do it. And the temperatures in Qatar, if you talk about global warming, are severe insanity. They actually moved the World Cup to winter.
Yeah, it says that right here.
See,
you beat me to the article. It's all right in your brain. You're not reading.
Is it okay if we go into it?
Yeah,
then?
you go into it.
So Qatar, they because the temperatures are just insane in the summer, they said, okay, well, we'll air condition the buildings, no big deal.
Right.
Well, like the environmental impact of building and then air conditioning
an entire
sufficient stadiums to host a World Cup it's nuts. It's bonkers. So they said, okay, well, in order to reduce the environmental impact and to ensure safety for our players, besides the difficulty of just building the stadiums, but anyways, they moved it to winter.
Yeah.
So World Cup, which is never in winter because the Winter Olympics happen at the same time as it would happen if you did that. They don't wait till the summer, right? And also it's a summer sport.
Yeah. See, I told you. Noel's passionate about football, soccer.
No, okay, no. I mean, the club version is a winter sport. Don't get me wrong. Like club soccer happens during the winter, but men, like international men and women's soccer happens in the summer. That's just that's what we do. We get our summer break, and we watch our national teams play different tournaments. Okay, so now that's gonna be in the winter.
Yeah,
and rumor has it that some folks in Qatar also were doing some under the table bribery in order to get the bid. So America, who was one of the countries that were in for that possible bid and got beat out.
Yeah.
They got upset and they said, you know what? Let's find out if this was in fact bribery. And so the CIA investigated and found out, well, would you know?
Not only was it,
absolutely,
it has been.
This is the most corrupt organization in sports.
Yeah.
And so basically there was a huge takedown. All of the senior management of FIFA were humiliated and removed and replaced by an entirely new and different organization.
And that's been really recent, right?
Very
within the past
recent.
couple years.
Yes, very
because,
recent.
I mean, it says in 2014 they gave players water breaks after a court order. So you can see that we've really shifted the way that things are going. I would imagine now
it's a lot better.
A lot better
it's
leadership.
We're hoping so. There's some oversight now, and there's some concern about maybe we should be, fair.
Yeah.
So after that, the next World Cup actually is going to be hosted. It's kind of neat for men's.
Yeah.
By a trio of countries in North America. It's going to be hosted by North America.
Yeah.
So Mexico, USA, and Canada are all, after Qatar, going to get that World Cup, which will be kind of neat.
Yeah.
So you're getting more than one country involved, and it'll be throughout all three of those countries. And that's kind of a fun, a good way to do it because you kind of spread it out along more places.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm sure that there's a lot more in there about the Qatar World Cup. It's going to work out. It'll be fine.
You covered it, which was basically like saying, the article, when I said it's the more doom and gloom article, it's talking about the record heat that, players have been dehydrated, hospitalized because they've never had to play in this extreme heat of conditions, and it's been problematic. And they mentioned exactly what you did, which was like, man, by choosing that city, it offset there's no way players would not be, in harm's way every single game.
Yeah.
And so then they had to shift it, and that's throwing everything out of whack.
Yeah. So it's a whole mess. Now, to be fair to the to environmentalism, I mean, even that particular country, even 50 years ago, would have been a bad choice.
It's
just that's a real hot part.
It's a real hot part of the world, and it's like it's literally already going to the preheated stove, but that's just being cranked even higher by climate change.
Right. Exactly. I mean, they should have found, if they wanted to go in that area, they should have looked a little harder for something that was a bit more developed and had more in place, or given more time and said, look, you're going to get one, but it's going to be in 24 years, or it's going to be. We've got you settled for this far down.
Yeah, once we get some temperatures to come down a little bit.
Well, or just here's enough runway that you can sustainably build something that will work.
Do something that works. Yeah, and so after we've shed a little light on FIFA and their negative past, and in the progress direction. A positive thing. As of 2016, FIFA joined Climate Neutral Now. So this is probably when we begin to shift in the new direction and pledged to aim at becoming completely greenhouse gas emission neutral by the middle of the 21st century.
Right.
And to do this, according to the sustainability report from the World Cup 2018 in Russia, they measured, reduced, and offsetted the emissions produced. So this is already the steps that they're beginning to take in the right direction.
Yeah, and their players, like the people who are actually playing the sport, are notoriously thoughtful. Like you
Yeah.
get to like
Yeah.
there's a whole anti-racism thing started by the players before
Yeah.
FIFA is in, and they've totally embraced it.
Yeah.
But it was started by Thierry Henry. Gosh, like well before FIFA was thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's. It's a really forward-thinking group of players, and they're
The
generally
players
good
are
people.
helping drive kind of
Absolutely.
the culture of the organization itself, which
Absolutely.
is great.
And you look at there's actually an interesting problem with women's rights also that again players are fighting really hard for.
Yeah.
Is this another tangent? Do we go another tangent? Or
No,
do you-
go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring it. Well,
Okay.
I brought up Rapinoe, and I mean, I see her in headlines
Yeah.
because she is a very vocal, active woman for rights, and
Yes.
and so
Yeah.
that's what always catches my attention when I see stuff about Rapinoe and what she's saying. I'm like, yeah, she's amazing.
She's great.
Yeah.
And frankly, that whole team is great. And there's something that it's God. The U.S. women's team has such an interesting problem
Yeah.
to fight, and I encourage people to take a look at it and stand up with them. But basically, in the United States, our women's team is significantly more valuable and interesting than our men's team when the time comes.
Right.
Like maybe not all year round. Like people aren't really following them apart from the World Cup.
Yeah.
But during the World Cup,
Yeah.
our women's team draw greater than Super Bowl numbers. Like if we make the final,
Yeah.
which we already have. Yeah, we
Yeah,
made the final.
yeah.
That final is going to get. I mean, that's going to be a television
Yeah.
event
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll get crazy numbers. They'll get like it's.
That's
Like
amazing.
telephone numbers doesn't even cover it. Like it's
Yeah.
like they'll get crazy
Yeah.
numbers, right? United States men's team aren't good enough yet. Like
Yeah.
they're still trying to get there. Like,
Yeah.
all the best teams in the world are not here, but we've got the best women's team. So our women's team really like they generate a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I personally, being a Ron Swanson, libertarian.
Yeah.
My feeling is that you get paid based on what you are worth, what you can produce,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And this is an argument that sexist men, I'll just say it there, have used for years that, well, we do all this work, so we should get all this money, and there's a reason why
Yeah.
the CEOs, that blah, blah, blah. And, if it's true, that's fair. Like in men's basketball, right? They generate more money than the women, so they're going to make more money. That's just how it goes, right?
Right.
And I agree with that personally.
Yeah.
In soccer, the men get paid more than the women.
Yeah. And it's like,
Which
it's backwards
Interesting
Yeah.
because it isn't necessarily
that they generate
that
more.
they should, because they
Yeah.
don't really generate. The women's team generates a lot of money. They're a very valuable
Yeah.
commodity,
Yeah.
and they're worth it, right?
Yeah.
So they fight, and this is a cause that the women's team fights for. They're like, with like this, when you talk about equal pay for equal, this is an example where there is no argument.
Yeah.
We should be getting the pay. We should
Yeah.
be getting the money.
Yeah.
And they're right, in my opinion. They're
Yeah.
right. I think
Yeah.
that they
That's awesome.
they generate a lot of money.
Well,
They should
hopefully-
get paid.
yeah.
They should back up the Brinks truck for these ladies.
Well, it sounds like at least with the way the organization's moving, they're starting to listen a lot more, and so maybe we'll be moving in that
Yeah,
direction.
I mean, hopefully,
hopefully
that's going to be up to the United States Soccer Federation,
Yeah.
and they're going to keep, this pressure hopefully keeps coming on, because it'll happen again. Everybody's going to be looking at this women's team, and they're potentially going to win another World Cup. Maybe they already have by the time of the listening to this, or maybe it was a tragic loss. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
I guarantee that you were watching,
Yeah, totally.
and that's the point.
I love this because if you've been listening to the show since the beginning, you've never seen Noel more amped up on an episode to talk about anything, because this man loves his soccer. He loves soccer,
I do,
and he's passionate about it.
I love,
love it.
I love women's rights.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
I know I do. I've got
Got
a
it.
very powerful wife who's just she's
Rad.
rad.
Yeah.
She's an actor. She works hard. She gets a lot done. She's just a butt kicker.
Yeah.
And and a daughter. And I think that when you live around a lot of women, you get the point of view and you understand a little better.
Oh yeah, man.
So I totally I want these ladies to get their due. I do. I want these.
At one point in time in my life, I lived with 3 roommate females.
Yeah.
That completely changes your life. I lived with 3 women in the same place, and that changes everything.
I don't know if I can deal with that.
Oh, well,
but-
sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse. But I ended up being the
And they were
apartment.
all your age, right?
They were all my age, and it was. I ended up being. I was the '90s sitcom dad in the place, because somebody came home and they were upset. I was like, "Tell me what's going on.
Right.
What did he say?" You know what? He's just saying that out of his insecurities. Men are really funny. Funny story, And it was like, but it was never. I wasn't. By the way, I wasn't mansplaining to today's audience. Like, this was actually asked advice. I became the guy in the house that they would be like, "Why is this happening?" And I would sit down and talk.
Funny you'd ask.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
being a father.
Yeah, it wasn't somebody coming in the door crying, and I was like, "Let me tell you what's going on." Like that would be.
I'm going to explain why you don't feel well right now.
Exactly. It wasn't like that. It was like I became the sought after, resident guy in the house who was the counselor for the family. But anyway, tangents aside. Yeah. So back to soccer and green choices. So here are the positive things. Like I said about FIFA, Manchester City making eco-friendly changes. Manchester City was named the greenest club in the Premier League in the 2008 Ethical Consumer Survey. After taking a look into their achievements, we can agree that they most definitely deserve their status. They claim to reduce 85% of landfill accumulated at matches. They've introduced a more environmentally friendly way for their concession stands and programs by using recyclable materials and offering reusable versions of their packaging. Yeah. And this is starting to become a thing that I've seen on several different sites where World Cup games and major soccer games and football games they've had around the world, especially with like the beer and the concession stands and stuff like that, it's mostly been disposable cups for as long as they can remember, which is a huge amount of waste.
Really?
Yeah. So they're starting to integrate these reusable cups that are in the stadium. You get them filled out.
Started using glass. And here's the reason, right? Not only is it something you can reuse, but if I get real mad at the competition, I can smash the glass on his head.
That's right.
You start a real good fight.
I'll take 26 glasses.
Me and me mates need the glasses.
We need to glass up.
We got to glass up. We got to fight with the other club.
Right, go up there, cheer for my team, and then smash it.
Smash some glasses.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's all glass. No, they're thankfully not glass. They're
sugar glass.
They're sugar glass.
So when they smash the heads, it doesn't hurt.
So it's just an action scene.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I completely took out a tangent.
That's great. That's great. It'll be reusable, washable, plastic cups that are durable and could last years and years and years and seasons, and they can use this instead of at the end of games. Just I'm sure those stadiums are just riddled with garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this will help offset that problem. So I've seen that over and over again.
Do you think that the United Kegger Association of America should also embrace this? Because
100% the United Kegger Association.
Yeah, the United Kegger. Yeah. Because those red red solo cups, that they use at the in every sanctioned kegger party in colleges in the United States, those red solo cups are probably causing a similar.
Funny tangent. I knew a member of the Solo family.
Really?
That's not their last name. Yeah. But when I lived in Illinois, he was briefly dating a friend of ours, and I was like, oh, he comes from the Solo Cup family, and I was like, oh wow. And the home that he lived in the Chicago suburbs was the home that they filmed Road to Perdition, the family home in, and it was like, holy smokes. But anyway,
so Batman lives in there.
Yeah, so basically Batman, yeah. So the Solo Cup empire is doing just fine.
They're doing all right.
Right, but Solo needs to start thinking a little bit about let's cut back on these plastic cups.
Somehow I don't think they will.
Yeah, I know, right? I guess it's been going pretty good for him so far.
I think Solo's is not going to sponsor our podcast.
Well, I've had enough of that. I'm going to go back to Chicago suburbs, and I'm going to grab that guy and be like, you tell your family,
look, Han.
Polluting. Look, Han, you're polluting. I'm going to Lando him. I'm going to be like, Han, Han, you're polluting the environment. You need to do something about it. Yeah. So, but yeah, back to your point of the United Keggers Association.
Yeah.
They need to rethink.
The UKA, dude. I mean, I think
UKA.
The UKA. That's right. We're doing that now. NASA, NOAA.
It's NASA, NOAA, and the UKA.
Yeah, because if you're gonna have a kegger, you should really be using either do keg stands like a real sustainable person,
right,
or let's get some let's use some reusable cups here.
We already know about the Ohos.
Yeah.
Yeah, those exist. I know those aren't mass produced yet, but everybody just needs to know their cup.
Know your cup, man.
Know your cup, man. So in soccer, football, one of the biggest problems, of course, is they're working. The thing that I'm excited to report is they're all working really hard to solve problems that they've had, which is these stadiums keeping the pitch nice. everything. You know,
Glad you used pitch.
I did because I read it. I did.
Not field.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't
Yeah.
know, they don't call a soccer field a field. They call it a soccer pitch.
It's a soccer pitch.
Or a
and
football
so,
pitch.
yeah, football pitch with the glass, riddled with glass.
Riddled with glass from the last fight. Oh, man.
It's so good.
Nothing better than being a hooligan.
Yeah, that's right. But they have, you know, the soccer uniforms have polyester, and so there's all sorts of different approaches that people are having. And Adidas is kind of the front runner. Adidas, they are really, really one of the most well-known sustainable sportswear companies that's working hard.
And in football, they're probably the biggest.
Yeah,
like
Adidas.
Nike sort of is winning in basketball.
Yeah.
You know, although Jordan's doing pretty well too, but
Yeah.
Jordan came from Nike. They might be the same company. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody's
but
yelling at me.
Adidas is really the
But
one.
Adidas in
Buy Adidas. I don't know if you remember that, but in the 80s, Run DMC was sponsored by, like, they wore nothing but Adidas, and I think they even did an ad, and it was like, buy Adidas.
Did they wear the track pants and everything?
They had the track pants, and they had the Run DMC was most famous for Adidas with no laces. That was their look.
How did I not know this?
Yeah. So, like, if you watch their videos, they would always have these Adidas sneakers on with no laces.
No laces.
So, like, I don't know how they kept them on. I don't know what the secret was. It was probably some, like, device
They
inside
had
that
socks
kept
with super glue.
super glue or something. You know, it was one of those tricks that at the time you're like, that's so cool. And then you try it yourself and your foot
like,
just
just
flies
steps
out
on
of
the
the
shoe.
Adidas and you're like, I am definitely not Run DMC. But, like, like, it's like when I found out about the Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal lean.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the first time I saw the lean in the video of Smooth Criminal? This is such old man talk right now for today's generation. But you saw the lean
Like
and
he would go that far
and
back.
you go, how in the world can they do that? And then I found out years later that the shoe hooked into a clip onto the floor, and then that's how they were able to offset their body gravity in order to go lean and then come back like that. But when you saw it at first, you're like,
Oh my God!
Right?
They can defy gravity.
Right.
Yeah, and they did.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, it still takes a lot of body strength to be able to.
We couldn't do it.
No.
Do you want to see a funny podcast? Is when you and I try to do the Smooth Criminal thing, and then we just fall on our tuchus.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the Smooth Criminal shoes, and we'll do the lean, and then we'll get Adidas with no laces, and let's see how long we can
Here's
go.
the hilarious thing: is if we wear the Adidas with no laces, put them in the hooks, and then we'll just fall down because we'll slip out of our shoe.
Yeah, because I mean, just the amount of core strength that you need in order to get down and come back up.
And if you're
is just
hooked to the shoe, you'd need the shoe to be tied. I would think.
I see what you're saying.
You just shoes come out. Wah! Feet
Smooth
come out.
Criminal with unlaced Adidas.
Yeah.
That's
A
awesome.
Smooth Criminal.
That's great. But the last thing I want to touch on, which was when I was looking at the thing about the climate change and the heat and all that, I was like looking for positive ones, and this is the one that I saw, the article that I saw that I was excited that I wanted to share about, which is welcome to the world's greenest soccer club.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
And who are they?
They are called the Forest Green Rovers. Yes.
Forest Green.
Forest Green. So there's no meat on the menu with the
That
Forest
makes
Green Rovers
sense.
play. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a team spreading an eco-friendly message while at the same time rising up the English Soccer League charts.
Yeah.
So this team has gone like above and beyond to become carbon neutral. That's a big part of their angle here. Let me see if I can find some of their stats.
I mean,
so you've heard of these guys
that's
before,
of course, yeah, of course. Forest Green, that's pretty perfect. Of all the teams, that's
right?
Of course, they're the ones.
If
That's
you
like-
look them up, it says the green. Like if you go to their site, it says
Yeah.
like the greenest team in the league.
Yeah.
So they've really
Good for
pushed
them.
this as not only like a point of pride for them, but it's really spreading the message. People
Yeah.
are starting to get it. Like that's what's so cool about this article. It says the club's green credentials are in full view. Rooftop solar panels generate power. There are promotional posters for meat substitute products, electric car charging points, stands painted with chemical-free paint, an eco trail showing fans the club's sustainability efforts, and the player shirts feature the logo of a radical environmental group called Sea Shepherd. So, like, this is a big thing, and their entire menu in the stadium is meat-free. There's nothing. It's all vegan.
Wow.
And there's even an instance in here where a guy who came to the stadium, like, immediately was put off by that, had some, and it was so good, and he ended up becoming vegan.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he came in like, oh, no, I'm not going to have any of this, you know? And then he, like, ate it. It was delicious. And then after a couple
Broke his
months...
glass. This is beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to eat nothing but vegan food from now on, you know?
on.
So it's just really, really cool. I encourage fans of the sport to definitely check this team out. They all, like the way that they keep their pitch so green. They use nothing but sustainable methods for that. The organic turf is fertilized with seaweed, and any water is drained off and stored nearby to be used again.
Reuse it.
Yep, and even the nets are biodegradable.
Wow.
Even the nets. So like
middle of the game, you shoot, and it just pops right through the net. It's like, well, it biodegraded in the middle of the game.
Yeah, totally. But it's. I was excited to see this because these guys are really 100% on board for this message, and for this to be happening in the England football league. I would imagine that's gonna spread across. So
absolutely. Well, the thing is again, I think that just as here in the U.S. you'll see a lot of athletes taking social causes and trying to make a difference. I think the two of the most known for it are LeBron James and Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is the same. It is the same with football, with world football.
Yeah.
That these guys they care very much, and the message is working its way up. I think throughout most of these sports organizations, it's working up. It's becoming a social thing. Like, let's be greener. Let's be more conscious of not just green sustainability, but social sustainability, which is an important big point, because we got to live together on this planet.
We do,
and we got to find a way to get along, even when we don't agree.
We got to come together.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Just because we don't agree doesn't mean we can't find a way to get along.
We got to get along. 100%. Well, I looked over at the clock and I cannot believe that we are already at 35. I was like, wow, this is one of those ones where literally the time just flew by.
Well, you picked a good topic.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I know. I'll have to do one that makes me all revved up, like 90s alternative music. I don't know how to make that green, but
find something.
I'll find something, because I would just go bananas.
Let's just do the music one.
Yeah, the music one?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Last facts before we close out, some other cool ones, because I just think these are fun to share with everybody. Stadiums have always been a part of the game, from Wembley to Allianz. But when it comes to environmentally friendly stadiums, FC Augsburg leads the way. That's in Germany.
Really?
So FC is football club, right?
Yeah. Well, in Germany, is it FC there?
It just says FC Augsburg. Okay. So their home is carbon neutral instead of artificially heated.
It is FC. Sorry, I'm thinking of Voetbal Club, which is Dutch. I'm sorry, that's my bad.
It's okay.
My bad, teams.
It's okay.
My bad.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Instead of artificially heating the pitch, the stadium makes use of naturally heated groundwater, saving 10,000 liters of oil per match, the amount used by 8 single-family homes in a year. So so they take care of their pitch.
That's great.
And they are known for being one of the most sustainable ones. And then there's one more little thing here. The Augsburg Arena has a rival when it comes to environmental bragging rights. The Allianz Riviera Stadium in Nice.
Yeah.
Not Nice.
No, Nice, France.
Yeah, Nice, France. Yeah, I love it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Allianz Riviera Stadium in Nice, a Euro 2016 host venue, has since May 2013 produced more energy than it consumes, thanks to photovoltaic roof panels.
Good for them.
A rainwater harvesting system, and innovative ventilation columns. The stadium's construction also used 4,000 cubic meters of renewable wood.
Nice.
So very, very exciting to see.
I got a little question for you, though.
Yeah,
Isn't
all wood renewable?
I mean, that grows from
I don't know.
from trees?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question.
Or
Let's do an episode on wood.
Reusing the wood.
A renewable wood. Yeah, there's got to be some. Hey,
wood is a renewable resource. Is my point.
Right, but maybe they're just saying that it was. They're saying, because it was wood, it was renewable wood, and so it wasn't like a special kind of wood.
I'm against it now. To go and to lie and try to make something that everyone uses sound more renewable.
But maybe
there's probably a reason.
There's probably a reason. Yeah. We'll do an episode on wood.
Yeah.
No. This week on the Biofriendly podcast, wood.
We're going to talk about wood.
And the ways.
Do you remember?
Actually, it's probably a valid subject.
No. Hey, yeah. No, wood has.
Our beaver audience would be like, what?
Yeah, poor beavers. Now, hey, it's not the beavers who are causing the problem. That's the thing we got to remember, right?
Right.
It's just not just because things are being used doesn't mean that that's a problem.
That's not
it's
a problem.
Just when it's being overused or improperly used.
No, I just thought they'd be excited that we're talking about what they love.
So I thought we were pissing off the beavers.
No, they're excited. They're tuning in. They're on the dial. They're sitting in front of the AM/FM radios and like, how do I get the Biofriendly podcast in this thing? These guys are talking about wood. I don't know why beavers are 1920s gangsters.
Why can't beavers be from today?
It would be so great.
Like, how come a beaver can't have an iPad?
They live in the past. They live in the past. Get that newfangled plastic out of here. We only work with wood. See. I want to make a comic book of 1920s gangster beavers.
Gangster beavers, yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys read that? Would you read a comic about gangster beavers?
I cannot think of a single person on earth who wouldn't read a comic book about gangster beavers.
I'm getting started on it right away.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's essentially been it, but this was a cool one, huh? That's a cool subject.
We have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment. Did you forget already?
Well,
Sound years.
Sound years ahead of the competition.
Saving the world eventually.
Tantamount. I remember that one. And we're trying.
We're trying.
That's been the latest one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed this one, buddy. I
did.
This was a fun one.
I did.
And
This was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Hey, see you next time. Happy
Whatever.
Happy World Environment is tomorrow day.
Yeah, tomorrow's it's Mushroom Day.
Mushroom Day. Happy Mushroom Day.
Happy Mushroom
Probably is. Who knows? I don't keep up with.
Happy Wood Day.
Happy Wood-
to the beavers.
Happy Beaver. Happy Beaver Day.
Happy Beaver Day. Yay!
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.